station, WTIM.
Welcome into the WTIM, your information station. My name is Tim Zalabak. Time now for the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville. I have Mr. Kent Redfield on the line right now. He is Professor Emeritus of Political Science at the University of Illinois. How are you doing today, Mr. Redfield?
Just fine. Good to be here.
Really good to have you in today. In the wake of many things going on, we've recently talked to a lot of local law enforcement. We're really just trying to learn a few things today. So I'm really happy you're here with us today. Let's get right into it. We're talking Safety Act. We're talking no cash bail. It's fully into effect. Now, let's just get off to a general start. How's it working week one? How's it been going?
It depends on the part of the state. Bigger counties have more resources, have geared up to deal with this. The more sparsely populated counties, you're putting, demands on judges, prosecutors. You may not have in smaller counties. They really aren't required to have public defenders, and so this is a much more labor-intensive, deliberative process, and it's going to roll out. Depending on a particular county, you're going to find variations.
Okay. Well, it's making more sense now. So you say there's going to be more demand placed on these on smaller rural communities and more sparse communities, you said. So what kind of demand is being placed on people like judges, state's attorneys? Well, what's going to happen? What's changing for them?
You've instituted a process where you have procedures and deadlines that make whether or not to try to retain a person pre-trial or to release them with or without some kind of requirements. That has to be a formal meeting. The person that's been arrested has the right to counsel. And so people are finding these take more time. Bail hearings used to be run through pretty quickly in terms of whatever the kind of the norm was within a county, and you were kind of assigning bail based on, a set of criteria that people were familiar with. Now we're in a new environment where, the prosecution has to prepare to ask for if a defense you can hold a person on a defense, then they have to petition for that to take place. Rather than so it takes, the docket is fuller in terms of you're right now you're both dealing with new arrests, you're dealing with people that were jailed and denied bail under the old system. And some of those people may be eligible to petition for release. So, again, in a small county where you've don't have a big staff for the county prosecutor, the state's attorney, you may have a judge with, one judge shared with multiple counties. It is just going to be take more time and eventually more resources. There will be, I think, in the legislature, movements to provide more resources to counties based on this kind of criteria, so that it's not an unfunded mandate. I mean, we've changed what the law is, how the procedures, and if that takes more time and more people, then that's going to put more strain on local resources. And so you probably are going to see a move, if not in the veto session, certainly next spring, to provide more resources so that, counties aren't having to divert resources from other things to deal with the new process.
Okay. Well, thank you for laying all that out for us. Now, explain to us what this would look like working perfectly, maybe in a Cook County. What was the goal here? It was to decrease prison or jail population. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's just to try and, the object is that whether you're detained or not detained should be pre-trial, should be based on specific criteria: the nature of the offense, your past record, and not. And so, we certainly have situations now where you've got people that are arrested for being involved with some kind of distribution of drugs, and people that have resources are able to make bail. People that don't have resources don't make bail. And at this point, no one has been convicted of anything. And so the intent is for there to be a consideration of the offense and the nature of the offender, so that we're keeping people that are dangerous in jail before their trial, and we're not putting people in jail just because they don't have the resources to meet what is often kind of arbitrary bail limits. So, that's a laudable goal. That's a good thing to have, a more rational consideration, trying to focus in on who should be detained, who shouldn't be detained based on criteria other than who can make bail. But the fallout is going to be this takes more time, more resources, more money, and you are going to have jurisdictions that are going to be squeezed by increased costs that come from this law, and the legislature, should address that. It's again how you're treated shouldn't be based on your own personal wealth. It also shouldn't be based on the resources of the particular jurisdiction that, where the arrest took place. So it's a work in progress. That's absolutely true.
Okay, yeah. So on paper, right, it seems like this should be a more equitable system, but these rural, smaller communities, they're seeing more time, more resources, more money being spent just to kind of accommodate for this act, is what you're saying. So you're looking to see maybe in a veto session some more funding being placed into some more smaller rural communities?
Yeah, probably more likely begin, next spring when we've got a little more, data and information. But and the state does provide resources for counties. They pay part of state's attorney's salaries. This is a partnership, and it should be in terms of administering justice within the state.
All right, perfect. Mr. Kent Redfield, is that pretty much everything we have for the Safety Act today? I think we just laid out everything pretty well. And every single time we talk Safety Act here, the picture becomes a little bit more clear. So I really do appreciate that right there. Any more that our listeners would like to hear, you think?
There are going to be situations where, under the old system, mistakes were made. Under the new system, mistakes are going to be made. And it does put more responsibility on the county, the state's attorney, and judges to get things right. One of the upsides of this that has not got as much attention is the law can also be used to keep people in jail pre-trial that have, again, we're thinking about someone like a drug dealer who has access to a lot of resources and a lot of money. This makes it much easier to deny bail, rather than trying to set an astronomical figure that may or may not work. You can just say this person is likely to commit more crimes. The people that are concerned with domestic violence feel that the act will make consideration about whether or not people accused of domestic violence will be more likely to be, if they are dangerous and a threat to people, particularly the partner in question, that they'll be more likely to be held in jail. We will see.
Okay. And I didn't even think about the positive outcome there. You just explained it very, very well, that you don't have to set that big number that could be possibly hit for bail, right? I mean, it's just detainable or non-detainable. So there is some positive outcomes that can come of this. So that does make a lot of sense right there. Okay, Mr. Kent Redfield, we're going to take our first short little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk primary politics and a fall veto session in October. Very looking forward to that. This has been Tim Zalabak here on the WTIM Morning Show. We're sitting down with Kent Redfield, Professor Emeritus of Political Science at the University of Illinois. We'll be right back here on the WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
From kitchen cabinets to countertops, Taylorville Home Source Design Center on East Park beats the box store prices every day.
From all wood cabinets that aren't made of particle board to quartz or laminate countertops in all colors and selections, Rick's got you covered.
Don't drive out of town trying to find the best price. With their in-house design center, you get the highest quality cabinets and countertops at the lowest price.
Taylorville Home Source Design Center on East Park for kitchen cabinets and countertops.
Beating box store prices every day.
Is your current financial advisor really listening to you or just waiting for his turn to talk? Hi, I'm Brad Davis, your Taylorville Edward Jones financial advisor, and I'm here ready to listen. I want to know what's important to you. I want to learn about your goals so that together we can put you on the financial path that's right for you. Call me at 217-287-2663 or visit edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation aims to foster, promote, and stimulate economic development, from keeping existing industry and retail businesses successful and thriving to attracting new investment in Shelby County. The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation is here to help your business grow. It also sponsors job fairs to fill positions at existing employers and encourages future entrepreneurs in the Shelby County CEO program. Find out more on the Shelby County Economic Development Corporation by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
For the month of September, here's a membership special you can't resist. The Christian County YMCA is offering any new family, adult, senior, and senior couple members one free month membership dues and free activation fee if they purchase a $100 YMCA calendar raffle. Each calendar raffle purchase will provide participants 66 chances to win. A $125 winner drawn each week on Fridays, a $250 winner drawn on the third Wednesday of each month, and a $500 winner drawn on January 2nd, 2024. All YMCA memberships are a 12-month commitment. The Y for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility.
Helping you hear and understand. That's the goal of my hearing aid business, Specialized Hearing Solutions, in Taylorville and Shelbyville. Hi, I'm Crystal Baker. After over a decade in the health and hearing care field, I've opened my business to provide hearing aids at competitive prices while still providing the highest level of personalized service to my patients. Let's schedule a complimentary hearing consultation to see how I can be your path to better hearing. Call me, Crystal Baker, at 824-0411. Specialized Hearing Solutions. I'm all about helping you here.
CNB Bank and Trust has been helping open doors for Central Illinois farmers since 1854. Find out why they're among Illinois' top ag lenders by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Bob Reddings of the Bob Reddings family of dealerships. See our huge inventory of about 2,000 vehicles by clicking on our ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM, your information station. This is the WTIM Morning Show. We're sitting down with Kent Redfield right now. He's a professor emeritus of political science at the University of Illinois. We've had a great conversation so far. We're talking Safety Act, what it means for smaller communities and bigger ones, of course. And we're going to get right back into this one, talking about primary politics for the spring session here. It feels a little early, Mr. Redfield. Can you talk to us about this?
Yes. Well, because we have a March primary, it means that the political season starts early. So if you're a member of the Illinois House or you're a state senator elected for a 2-year term, you just got sworn into office in January. Now you're in the process of passing petitions if you're going to file for re-election. Actually, if those petitions are due by the 4th of December, and so you may have found someone knocking on your door wanting to sign a petition, and your feeling is, didn't we just get done with this? But it's we're doing the same thing over again. People are raising money. And so it just makes the campaign season very long in Illinois because, right after the new year, we'll have ads for the March primary. When that finishes, it's not like we take a break until, October. People are going to be out again campaigning. So it makes for a long season. This one's a little more complicated because we're going to do presidential primary, and we're going to also elect delegates to the national Democratic and Republican national conventions. So that primary ballot is going to be more crowded than usual because we're going to have the presidential politics mixed in on top of the legislative politics.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned Illinois season maybe being a bit longer. Is anything different happen with Illinois legislation where we are able to campaign longer? Is there something there?
It tends to make things just more expensive, and it also tends, people again kind of feel like, don't we ever get a break from politics? And so I don't know that it's particularly positive. Most states have either later primaries or even during the summer or fall primaries. If you're in England, campaign season lasts about 3 weeks, so rather than year round. So there are probably better ways to do this.
Yeah, it does seem like it's a constant fight for some sort of seat somewhere always. So it's very interesting that you say that. So it's a year-long battle for Congress people alike. So it's very, very fun there. Interesting. So primary politics. I mean, we're already talking about it. 2024 elections seem like they're right around the corner. Anything big to know about big primaries?
Locally, there may be some. Usually these are when you get an open seat. There's an open seat up in Decatur. Representative Calkins has decided to honor his pledge to only run 3 times, and so we know that's the Reagan Deering that ran for Congress in that district is now running for that seat. You will get some challenges to sitting legislators, but generally, this is still a party-dominated process, and so it isn't. It will depend on the particular candidates in a legislative district whether or not there are open seats that tend to attract more activity.
Fair enough. All right. So coming up, and not really coming up, it's a year-long fight for legislative elections. So very, very interesting there. And we only got a little bit of time left, Mr. Redfield. But it's we're talking fall veto session in October. Now, when I heard fall veto session, I thought with all the words being spoken about No Cash Bail Safety Act that we were going to be talking about that for the fall. But we'll probably relook at that during the spring. What kind of things are we looking at for this fall session for vetoing?
It is. Veto session is a misnomer. It's the fall legislative session. So we have a few vetoes, having to do, there was one involving whether or not we authorize, get an exemption from our ban on nuclear reactors to allow for building of small nuclear reactors. Or actually, one of the hottest issues will be whether or not to fund a program that was left out of the state budget. There's an Invest in Kids program, which provides money, tax breaks for people that contribute to funds that provide for people to go to private schools. There's a big push, particularly on the Republican side, to come up with some continued funding for that program. The governor is kind of neutral on it. Teacher unions tend to be against it. So, that may be the biggest fight of the veto session. It has nothing to do with the veto. It's about whether we're going to keep a program alive and put more money into the program.
Fair enough. Mr. Redfield, we are out of time, but I really appreciate you sitting down, making things a little bit more clear for us today.
Thank you. Always good to talk.
Absolutely. Always is. That was Kent Redfield, Professor Emeritus of Political Science at the University of Illinois. Always a pleasure speaking with Mr. Redfield. This has been Tim Zalabak here on the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you all for listening.
Your information station, WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and